He comes from a lineage of great sages, yogis, and saints from India. He began his spiritual journey at the age of 7 and was fully realized by the age of 14. During this time, he delved into different practices and acquired mastery over Tantra, Mantra, Yantra, Aghori practices, and Yaksha sadhana. He was a siddha, and many masters, saints, and sages used to visit him in solitude to gain wisdom and guidance from him since the tender age. Although he has been helping humanity since childhood, he never disclosed this part of him to the world, and only the advanced yogis and masters were aware of his divine presence. Only in the last 2 years he chose few people from the world and started guiding them in their spiritual paths, and those who have been closely associated with him have witnessed many miracles in his presence. Despite being a family person, he is a yogi and intends to help people entangled in this world achieve Jivan Mukti, liberation while being alive. He is truly in the world but not of the world, and if you really want to understand him, look him beyond his physical appearance and just sit with him, and you will never be the same again. In his presence you will transcend your body and mind and experience the state of Sat, absolute truth, Chit, pure consciousness, Ananda, eternal bliss. Let us fold our hands in front of his divinity and with a heart filled with gratitude and love welcome our spiritual guru, the realized soul, and our enlightened master, Guru Meenakshi Mishra.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnavapurnat Mudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Prithvi Shanti Antariksha Shanti Sarvam Shanti. Aham Brahmasmi. Good morning, everyone, and good evening to the people from the other side. So here we are with the 5th episode of it. So if we continue at this pace, so I'll be thinking like we'll be having around like 40 episodes of this. But at the same time, we see like it is not about pace. It's about knowing, it's about being, it's about realizing, and it's about being understanding the every step of that. Just like you can rush into the temple and you can take every step towards the temple with devotion. So these are like the steps, might be the baby steps or the mini steps that we are taking and slowly moving towards the ultimate. So today we will dive into another level of it when it is coming from the higher realm towards the lower realms. So already हम च तक पहुंच गए थे. So we'll be starting with the Cha Matrika today. So let's see like how Cha actually works and how it is related on a daily basis. And at the same time, we will practically do some usage of those mantras, and you see how instantaneously it gives you that energy and how it creates impact in you. It will be done in a fraction of a second actually. So lively you are going to experience that anyways. And of course, if time permits, we will do the chakra meditation for cha, cha, ja, jhana. So let's say how far we go. If not, then we will do small meditations, and then next week might be we start with the meditation of the chakras itself. Coming back to thinking, like people were saying, okay, so no meditation today. No, there might be fewer meditations that instantaneously take you there. So there are prolonged ones and there are instant ones. And then, of course, there will be mantras. Then I was going through yesterday and I was thinking about completely creating a series of mantra of the matrikas. So from A to Ksha, the entire mantras at one go. So that you can, anytime you people get time, you can go listen to that. Now, of course, one thing I have recorded last night is in the app, in the Anahad, you will be getting, might be a day or two, there would be every night meditation as well. So before going to sleep, you can just plug in just 10-12 minutes, listen to that, and you can fall back asleep in the best possible ways. So that's what is coming for you. So starting with the Matrika Rahasyas, the part 5 of that. And I believe like we are all ready and all set for it as well. So there will be stories, there will be revelations, there would be moments when you see your life and say, oh my God, this is what is happening exactly. So please close your eyes once and realizing at the alphabets that we have been using all these years, never knowing the powers behind that. So with our salutations, bowing down to the Matrikas itself for appearing in front of us in this way now, so that now no more we just see them mere alphabets. Now we see the Divine Mother intervention in it. And once we know like how the intervention of the Mother is happening every moment, that may transform our lives and that may transcend our lives every moment into the realm of divinity and take us closer to our homes. And with this prayer in our heart, we move on towards the next Matrika. And it is the Cha or the Cham. And this is like the spark of reaction. So last time you understood how your mind works, how your mind shows up, what are your emotions, what are आपका मन क्या है, आपकी बुद्धि क्या है, आपका जो आप फील करते हो वो सारे चीजें क्या है. So after understanding that, it was like you now know it, but this alphabet Cha awakes you. So up until, like as I said, no, it is going to be a step-by-step process through which you know, then you awake, then you go back, then you know, then you awake, then you go back. So that's how it's. If you look at it, it's like a rhythmic fashion, as if it is a dance going on. So while doing this, as we have might have seen in our childhood days, or might be in the movies somehow, if you have been raised in a village, you might have seen like earlier, females used to go to fetch water from the river or pond or the nearby place to drink water, right? And like in the morning hours, they used to go one pot over another pot over another pot, and they used to go and fill the waters and come back, right? So while going there, they have a group of people of themselves as well. सबका एक दोस्त होता था. So while going through that space, they don't get bored, might be. And that was like a social gathering every morning happening. So when they go, you might have seen like when they're traveling, They keep a pot over pot over pot and like, okay. So, well, might be while going, they are just holding it and going, but after filling the pot, when they come back, like there is a heavy burden on their head, like one, two, three pots kept on their heads, and they still keep on walking and talking and even smiling and joking at each other, might be talking about some social issue or homely affairs. And they do all that with so much of ease, but the pots never fall. Why does that happen? Because at a subtle level, their focus is already always there at the pot, despite doing all the actions, all the things that they do on a daily basis. Just like when you are driving, you might be talking, you might be listening to a song, you might be discussing with people, you might be on a call, but at the same time, there is a subtle focus that is always already there on the road. And that's how you always keep on driving without any issues, without any. The same way I want to say, like whenever you are in this world, as that subtle focus always remains on the road, always remains on the pot, so that it does not fall. That's how even your focus while in this world should always be there, attached to the divine, so that you're always connected to that. So these matrikas actually work in that way, because every single day when you speak, when you utter a word, you are actually connecting to the divine rather than just connecting to this world that we thought to be. So may this awakening, may this realization come to all of us, and in every word that we speak from here on, we speak the divine language, not just the ordinary words of a human. So coming to the chum, or as I said, this is going to be the spark, the reaction of it. It's like when the reflection deepens, desire stirs. That stirring is chum. Because now you have a mind, you have आपका मन है, आपके पास बुद्धि है, आपके पास आपके इमोशंस हैं. But now it's not only of having it, it's about going into that space and realizing and experiencing that. That would be the right word here. Because chum is like the lightning that happens after the moonlight. It was dark and suddenly the moon appeared and there was light. Then it could be like the first ripple of emotion or charge that happens within you. Because when we use the word cha, it is related to goddess Chandi. So she is, as you know, a very ferocious form of the goddess. So when we use that, like she is kind of the fire that says, up until now, I was just watching it. I will now act. So up until now, you see like all the creation was coming into play one by one by one. Now up until the last cha, you were having all that. It's like you all have all the qualities. Let's say somebody paints well, somebody sings well, somebody dances well, somebody cooks well, somebody, every one of us has some or other quality, whether you know it or not. Some people don't know it, you have to discover that then. But when you discover that part, now let's say you have ingrained qualities of acting and you now know it. How long will you just keep that within you? A singer, how long will it keep itself not singing? Even though in front of others, whether it sings or not, but within himself, it will always sing because that's his calling. Yes or no? So, similarly, when this cha shabda appears or the cha matrika appears, it says, no, I have been singing in the bathroom, might be. Might be I have been singing not in front of people, but now I should. I have the skills. Now let me go into the action. Let me go and start acting also in the movies or in the drama or in this is. So that means this time it is no more going to stay as a onlooker, not going to stay as a person who is a third person and just looking at it, but it says, let me get involved into that. It would be in a funny way looking at it. Okay, two people are fighting. I've been looking at it. Now I say, okay, no, let me go and I also put few fists. तो वैसे ही होता है. सो अब छ जैसे ही आता है, यू एक्चुअली एंटर इनटू द एक्शन मोड. Do you know why you are not able to keep yourself as a, what you say, witness every time? साक्षी भाव में हमेशा नहीं रह पाते. Because now you have decided to enter into the drama, to do the drama now. And that's where the Chha Matrika appears, and it says that I will not see, I will actually act now. It's like if all the emotions that you carry within yourself are now in motion, are becoming into the movement. Now that's what I call as motion of emotions. It's just like there is a river flowing, no problem. There is a river, there is you, and now you think of jumping into that and shower in that, and you splash the water and all that. Means knowing it with your hands. So that's what the Chha Matrika does. Every reaction that you ever have in yourself, every impulse that you have ever felt, every decision or the spontaneous decisions that you take, it all arises out of this Matrika. So now tell me, all that you feel is your doing, or it is the doing of that goddess who is actually breathing in you in every second? Because whether you know it or not, every second you are taking a decision. A decision to stay, a decision to go, a decision to breathe, a decision to live, a decision to eat, whatever you call it. Minutest of the decisions. Even right now, when you even are going through this and you say, no, I have to listen to this, I will not think what's going on in my head. That's also a decision. So who is doing all these things now? So that is what the Matrika as a chum is actually doing in us. And here it is actually like both the forms of the goddess as Chandi and Durga. Both of them are the fierce form of the goddess, and they awaken actually. They will help you. This word chum, when I do it practically, you do that exercise today, you will realize that how the goddess actually awakens that energy within you, that sleeping energy, that Shakti jo aapke andar hai, how it will bring it up. She will actually, like, this power of the goddess will actually stir everything within you. आपके अंदर सब कुछ हिला के रख देता है. It's like she will shake the lake that was lying dormant and quiet, and it will create waves in it of emotion, of energy, of motion in you that will not allow you to just sit quietly. So, if you are not able to sit quietly, who is responsible for that? Because goddess is always movement, and it always wants to move, go ahead. And you know what? When people say that Shakti is movement and Shiva is the ultimate stillness, then I ask, do you really know why Shakti actually is in motion? Why she is always running towards it? Why it is always running into this world or towards Shiva? I got a very simple answer. I said, she is always running because she wants to see what her Shiva has created. That's her love towards him. He wants to see, like, okay, just like any one of you, you create something and your near and dear ones come to see that what you have done. That's what I say. Shakti is always in motion because she wants to see what her Shiva has created for her. And that's how she is moving in every speck, in you, in me, in the very air that we breathe, in the very things that we see, in the every sound that we hear. It's all her. In every speck and in the massive things that we have ever seen in our lives. Because she is always running towards the sea. Let me see what my Shiva has created for me. What would you call that? I call that pure love and nothing else. That she is so happy, so ecstatic to see that. And when I look at, like, when people ask, then why are the atoms moving and dancing in a rhythm? I said, because she is so ecstatic by seeing what his Shiva has done. She started dancing all around. And that movement, that dance has become the rhythm of our life, the rhythm of the creation, the rhythm in every speck that puts everything into motion. And that's where I see the magic of the goddess and the sincerity of Shiva as well. Now you can ask me, like, what is sincerity of Shiva? Sincerity of Shiva is it is constantly creating so that Shakti can enjoy and dance over that. Even if you go and watch like how our this 9 planetary movement that we see, how they are moving, it looks like sun is static and all the other things are rotating around it. But now when you see it, they are actually traveling at a very fast speed, and the sun is also revolving and like going ahead, and all the planets are revolving around it, going into a far off space. We are not static, we are moving, and we are moving ahead. And then when I see that also, I look, my goodness, how well she dances. There is so rhythm in that dance. There is no flaw. If it has said that the sun will rise at this moment, you will see that it happens exactly that moment. If it says this is the time when there you will experience a lunar eclipse, it happens exactly that way. Means that dance is so precise. And when I look at that and I look at the lives of our own selves, how can there be distortions? I just simply understand that she might have done it with precision. The only thing is, I have become the actor now, not knowing the movie. And that's where I don't understand what she is doing. And so, no, 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 this timing is not right. This should not have happened now. How do I know? When she knows when to wake up the sun and bring the calamity, she knows. And that's when we look at our lives, you see the dance of the divine every moment. So when something happens within you, when there is a calamity not outside but within, what would you see and what would you look and what would you know now? Ab kya karoge? You see that you can be irritated, you can be agitated as well. But now let me give you a secret to even how you can be calm in that storm. को कहते हैं ना कि when a hurricane comes, be the eye of the hurricane. That means that eye of the hurricane is unmoving. It is absolutely still despite all that drama it's doing. So from here on, do one thing. Whenever you are irritated, whenever you are agitated or you are angry, use it. I don't say that you should not be using that. Don't overuse it. That's what I can say. But while happening, when it is happening to you, from this day on, as you know, that's going to be a dance of Devi. From this day on, just look at it. Why she is doing that within you. Might be when you are not even able to sit down and meditate. Now look at it and say, okay, so why she is doing that? Because she is that power that keeps on stirring the things in such a way that it creates waves after waves after waves. So when that waves of things are coming, I will no more look at the waves. I will look at the beauty of the ocean. Now tell me, an ocean without waves. Would you like that? When you go to the ocean, you don't see the waves splashing, you see the beauty of the ocean. What do? You go and stand in front of the ocean and or the sea and say, what an idiot you are. You are not sitting still, you should meditate. Why are you jumping every moment? Bringing waves after waves. Don't you ever get थक नहीं जाते तुम? Are you never done? You keep on coming again and again. No one does that. Has anyone gone to the sea and complained, why are you creating waves? No. When you go, You don't see the creation of the waves, but you see the beauty in the creation of waves. Similarly, when you see whatever anxiety is happening within you, look at it. What is that beauty that is creating that? Let that go. Let the waves keep on coming and hitting the shore. And you should become that shore. It does not matter how far the wave has traveled, it comes and goes down to you and returns back. And that's what I want you to be. Let the waves of emotion come rolling towards you and finally touch your feet just to return back from where it came from. That is what the power you have. The moment you know who is doing all these things, the moment you know you are not actually the responsible person here, it is just the dance that's going on. So if you are realizing that I will create that in a moment, you just see how it happens. Because when you are absolutely sitting still, ऐसा नहीं हुआ है आपके साथ, सोचो एक बार. You are absolutely happy and you are sitting still and suddenly one thought pops up and you start rattling around. What's that? Now this time you will not say why this is happening. Just see, okay, so the new Matrika Cha is appearing within me now. Let's see what she wants to do today. Now that brings your awareness to another level. Because now, till that time, what I am asking you to do is to take a step back from Cha to Cha. Because Cha is seeing and Cha is going into the action. So you know where to stop and what to do or what to not. So if you are understanding all these things, you can actually have a wonderful control, or rather experience of life, I can say. Because when this, you can say, why did she start this movement? Because that was what we call as the Spanda. And if you ever get a chance to read the Spanda Karikas, you will realize like how Shiva works through the vibrational frequencies, how the Devi creates magic in that vibrational frequency. And that's why we call it as the Spanda, the vibration, the frequency. So without that Cha, even you won't woke up in the morning. If you wanted to say like, oh, I was calm, quiet and serene, I should not be going into the turbulence or that rattling of things, then think of if you go to sleep and you don't wake up. And this, up until now, you were thinking, kaun jaga deta hai mujhe aake? Now do you realize who is waking you up? It is this Matrika who wakes you up from that slumber. Because it says, well rested, now time again to experience what my Shiva has created. So your waking up is no more just a waking up. Your waking up is an unfolding of love of the goddess towards the ultimate. That how beautifully you have created all these things. Let me experience in all ways through emotions, which is happy, sad, whatever it is, but it just is a way of experiencing what Shiva has created. Now, in all your emotions, in all the things that you go through, what are you going to see now? If you realize that she awoke you out of love, not out of disrespect, not out of throwing you out, not out of any anger, not out of discarding you, not out of punishing you. So now when you wake up, how will you wake up is the question. That's what is the Matrika Cha. Have you heard this like many a times when you might have watched in movies or even you might have experienced it some ways. You are sitting in meditation. You are contemplating on the goddess and you start hearing the sound of the anklets. पैरों में जो पायल पहनी जाती है उसके शब्द सुनाई देता है, और जैसे वो शब्द सुनाई देता है, you not only hear it in your ears, you actually feel it in your heart. How many of you have experienced it? What is the sound of that? Chum, chum, chum. If you say this word, you see where it is going and hitting. It is starting here, but it drops to your heart. Why? Because it wants to awake that love within you. And yesterday, Imon was asking, like, okay, so why do our hearts is towards the left side, not on the right one? Why it is not centered? Why it's on the left side? I gave in two things. I said, one is because हम ना अपने दिल की बात सुनना बंद कर दिए, so हमेशा कहते साइड हो जा, साइड हो जा, साइड. So we have kept it so aside that it has gone to the side now. इसे हटाओ, इसे हटाओ, मूव करते करते बेचारा वो भी मूव हो गया. And he started laughing. Yeah, ऐसा होता है क्या? मतलब okay, so let me give you the right ones. Then I showed him the image of Ardhanarishwar and I said, you see this? And he says, okay, so what's this? You see, look at the Devi on the left side, the mother that carries that love. And that's why the heart is towards the mother always. And that's why mothers are so emotional towards their kids. So amazingly connected to this. एक माँ ही है जो बना सकती है, एक माँ ही है जो सुधार सकती है, एक माँ ही है जो सिखा सकती है. And he asked, then what about Shiva? He does not have a heart. Logical question, right? I said, if you even look at Shiva as the stone, Shakti is the vibration in it. Can you say the stone does not have a heart, so it's not alive? Look at the vibrational space. And he says, yeah, I have heard that it's everything is moving in it. I said, now what does not have a heartbeat? How can it dance? So if Shiva is the rock, Devi is the heartbeat of that rock that is vibrating at the atomic level. Shiva is so connected to the Devi that it does not need a heart of its own. And just look at, even if I say the Purusha and the Prakriti, the Purusha is not holding the heart. Now, without even having a heart, if he has been so compassionate, agar heart hota to kya karta? But does it really says that? Because we look at it at a physical level, I said to him that we look at it at a physical level, then we think like, okay, so this is the part. But let me tell you, you are a right-handed person. You do a lot of work with the right hand. And even if the heart is on the left, do you do things hastily? He says, no. I then say, look at your handwriting. Because at times they scroll it around, I just scribble it out and the handwriting is not good. I said, look at that. That's where your heart is not there. You write it with a heartless space. Then that's why the handwriting goes like that. But when you are putting your efforts into the writing, see what your handwriting is. He says, yeah, it's beautiful. And that says, yes, exactly. Now just let me know how you will write. समझ में आया क्या सिखा रहा था? Now his handwriting is also going to be good. He will write in a very beautiful way. How would you teach kids? How do you bring that awareness? अगर आप उसको बताओगे, no, you write it, तेरा handwriting अच्छा नहीं है. No, just teach him. Your handwriting becomes beautiful when you love it. So that's where all these things are coming into play. So that's chum. And जैसे मैंने कहा ना कि वो शब्द जब सुनाई देता है, कभी आप बैठे होंगे और घुंघरू की आवाज आती है, माइट बी यू आर लिसनिंग टू ए सॉन्ग और यू माइट जस्ट सिटिंग एंड जस्ट you will feel like something that walks so slowly around. And that sound, it actually at times invokes fear also. And at times it invokes the love towards the goddess. Fear किसके लिए? जिसको डर है. प्रेम किसके लिए? जो जानता है. It's the same sound. That's what I say. The sentence that I said, उसे याद रख लेना. The one who knows loves it. The one who does not fears it. The word chum. And that chum is awaking you every single day. If you know it, you will love that. If you don't, you will fear it. Now, are you learning? Are you knowing life or not? So now, when you know, you can love it because now you know what's going to happen and everything is just going like she's dancing all around. That's it. क्या हो रहा है? कुछ नहीं हो रहा है. जीवन में तुम्हारे क्या चल रहा है? वो नाच रही है. और कुछ करना है? नो, नथिंग. कैसे नाच रहे? उसकी मर्जी. तुम क्या कर रहे हो? मैं देख रहा हूं. आगे स्थित प्रज्ञ हुए. हैव यू बिकम अवेयर ऑफ इट? कितना समय लगता है? अब सोचो, मैं एक बड़ा गहरा प्रश्न पूछना चाहता हूँ. शायद लोग इसको सुन के कुछ कहे, जैसे मैंने कहा कि शिव का हृदय नहीं, हार्ट नहीं है, तो लोग हाउ कैन यू टेल दैट? यू हैव दैट लिमिटेड बुद्धि ओनली. नाउ आई हैव a question for all of you. So can you see her dancing in every step of your life now? Okay, so she is dancing and you're watching, right? Who are you then? Few moments ago, I said she is just dancing around so that she can experience what all Shiva has created. Now you are sitting and watching, and she is dancing around. Then who are you? In whose creation is she dancing now? Something to think over, right? आप सोचो, जिसके लिए मातृका नाचे वो कौन हो सकता है? And I'm not just saying in a term as नाचती है, but I say that look at that beauty of that creation that you created, that it is dancing over it every single moment. Won't it be a great reminder for all of us? That अब तक okay, समझ में आया कि वो नाच रही है, लेकिन मैं तो देख रहा हूं ना. You must be something. While doing it, you have forgotten that. क्योंकि उस ड्रामा में चले गए हो. But this should be a reminder for all of us, isn't it? Because whatever I'm saying, look at your faces. Whenever I'm saying it is sparking up somewhere. One word and it sparks up. That's what is chum. It says, oh wow. Have you heard that word? The sound that you say. That's chum. And it can be, it's not just one thing here. It's like the spark of thought, the spark of emotion. It can just be like when you just look at a stranger's eyes and has it ever happened like sometimes you're just looking at somewhere and you don't realize and suddenly you realize that you are looking at somebody and staring at him or her. It was not your intention, but in that moment you're just looking at it and suddenly when you say, oh, kya kar raha tha? That's chum. Because up until that you were lost and it awakes you. Like it's like a lightning that goes within you and you say, and suddenly even it might have happened like let's say there is a stranger and it's going along the street and you just look at him and both your eyes meet and you say, oh, you feel a spark in that. Might be good, bad, ugly, I don't say that. But that happens. When that happens, it is also that same spark that we are talking of. It's like we The music, when you hear to a music, okay, and your skin starts tingling. आप कहते हो ना गूज बम्स, wow, what a music. When you see a beautiful thing, let's say suddenly you are going and you look at it and you see the full moon, and suddenly for a moment you stop there and you look at the sunset, and suddenly it feels like it's mine. कभी किसी को ऐसा लगा है? नहीं लगा ना, कि सूरज जो देखते हो इतनी सुंदरता है और वो डूब रहा है. When that sun is setting down, you should practice one thing. अब से सिर्फ सूरज को डूबते हुए देख रहे थे. Now when you see any such thing, can you also become the Devi, because now you are experiencing what your Shiva has created? And then look at it and say, this is what he has created for me. If you were not there, who would have experienced that beauty of that creation? Every single day it is celebrating you being here. The sun does not cease to rise, the waves does not stop to create waves, the birds don't stop singing, the weather does not stop changing. Why? That brings the variety of life to you. And who is designing all this sitting every single day? So अब से काम करना, जब आप सूरज को डूबते हुए, anything that beautiful, you just look at it and you say, suddenly you say, oh, this is for me. Why? Because the way you see that, no one else will ever see it. The way you feel that, no one ever will feel it. It's your personal sun then. Yes or no? So make that every beautiful thing that is, oh, my personal way of looking at that. Even when anger rises within you, or you just laugh out loud, laughter bursts out, right? Without any plan. कभी कभी आपने देखा होगा, अचानक आप बैठे हुए and you just suddenly see something and you start laughing. Or you are just sitting calm and quiet and suddenly anger pops in. Whatever way, now you know it's not your doing. It's not that you are losing control over your own self. It is actually as if Shakti testing if you can stay conscious in the motion or not. Just like while driving, you still have an eye towards the road. While they carry the pots on their head, they still have the consciousness towards the pot. Similarly, when you are going through all this in your life of daily activities, are you still focused on that or not? Just like without darkness, you won't know light. Without the other colors, you will never know what white is all about. Similarly, without all this movement, how would you know stillness? So still, when you are losing your stillness, don't think that it is taking you away somewhere. No, it is showcasing that this is what movement is. Now find your stillness. This is what Shakti is. Find your Shiva. Now, when your thoughts run, what are you going to do? Run away with it? Elope with it? Then what? क्या करोगे? Now you can see it, the dance of the goddess. Shall I move ahead? Or you are happy dancing just here? That is Cham. It said, you want to be here or you want to move ahead? That also is the same word that we are speaking of, is the Cham. But let me give you something that is hidden behind these messages. It's like the universe never wanted perfection. It just wanted a feeling. Similarly, when we look at our lives, if we just run after perfection, we might reach to near perfection, never to the perfection. Because why do you want to have perfection? The answer is very simple, what I said. The universe never wanted perfection, it wanted a feeling, and that is the reason it will never create perfection. Now you can ask me, the Devi is dancing. That means Shiva's creation is not perfect? I would say no. But while the Devi dances, she makes it perfect. The beauty of her dance makes it perfect now. And that's where you can see, like, because every joy and pain you are feeling or tasting, as I said, no, through your emotions, it's like the God is experiencing the joy and pain of his own reflection through you. Then you realize that at times you become the drama, at times you watch the drama. So when you are becoming the drama, you are the Prakriti. When you are watching the drama, you are the Purusha. And both combine together to bring life into it. So what are you? Purusha or Prakriti? Or both? Without Cham, I can say that in this way. Without that Matrika Cham or movement, existence would only look like a photograph, not a video. Because with that sound Cham, it becomes the heartbeat of everything that you experience. And then, if you ever thought that you have been triggered by other people, you have been triggered by the world, it has never been. Why are you triggered? You have only been awakened by this word Cham. The world is a mirror. Cham is the electricity behind your reaction to it. Cham is that instant when peace turns to passion, silence turns into a storm, and even when the moon decides to dance. आप मुझे पूछ सकते हो कि when did the moon decide to dance? Look at its waxing and waning. That's also rhythmic. And whatever moves in rhythm is a dance. Now, as again Imon questioned me, he says, I always see that Shiva is having that Ardha Chandra. Why is always having the Ardha Chandra? Why does not it wax and wanes? I said, now you go and find it. Tell me, where is he sitting? That it only has that half moon always reflecting on his head rather than it becoming the full moon or waxing and waning. So he's thinking on that. That was his task while he went to sleep. I said, go. Now you tell me where Shiva is sitting that the moon is never growing or coming back. That's your task to give an answer. Let's see what he comes up with. Because we all know the story, but I wanted to create that chum within him. The question that puts things into action, right? Now, close your eyes for a moment. And realize that word chum within you. Because without that word cha, there would be no laughter, no protest, no rebellion, no love stories. Every revolution began as chum. Consciousness reacting to its own reflection. And when we know like this is the state of the goddess, so the mantra goes along with it is Om Cham Chandikai Namah. Om Cham Chandikai Namah. So it's like the salutation to the goddess Chandika, the fierce power that awakens every sleeping energy. It's like the vibration that shakes out like that stillness into movement, where calm becomes pulses, reflection becomes a desire. जब आपका डिजायर स्पंद में परिणित हो जाए, because desire is also a vibrational frequency. So when that desire connects to the divine, it becomes the spanda, and that's what I call as the divine tremor, not just a desire anymore. Now you can open your eyes and now you can tell me what is a desire and what is a spanda. Desire is related to the world. Whatever connects you to the divinity is the spanda. It's no more just the vibration. It's like a divine tremor within you. It shakes you within slowly so that you move towards it. How that happens is, I can say that in this way. Have you seen the balloon filled with gases and it just goes upwards on its own? ओ कौन सा गैस भरते हो उसमें? That it starts floating automatically, right? Not just you blew it, no, you used helium gases, yes. So when you fill it with helium gas, it starts going out automatically. If I give you a normal balloon, which is filled with by somebody with the normal air, you have to beat it up to go up, right? But the one that is filled with helium, it goes on its own. What is desire? What is spanda? Desire has to be beaten up again and again. But spanda is like the balloon filled with gas, that is helium, and it takes itself on its own. And that's why it is no more just a high vibrational frequency, it's just this divine tremor that takes you up in your divine journey. सो अब से जब आप किसी भी दिव्यता को एहसास करने के लिए या महसूस करने के लिए कोशिश करते हो कि दिव्यता के तरफ दौड़ते हो, तो क्या आपका वो डिजायर है या स्पंदा है? सबने कहा ना कि डिजायर से मुक्त हो जाओ, चलो इससे भी मुक्त कर दिए. So are you desiring to be with God, or it is just the spanda, that's the divine frequency that is you are attuned to and it is taking you there? Clear है ये? The spanda as well as desire? Very good. What was this purpose of this Devi? The purpose was to awaken the Ichha Shakti. Because without that Ichha Shakti, it cannot experience. Without the Ichha Shakti, it cannot return. आपकी इच्छा शक्ति है इसलिए आप संसार में हो, आपकी इच्छा शक्ति है इसलिए दिव्यता की तरफ भी जा सकते हो. So is the Devi good or bad? Now even you will think, my goodness, how can I even tell that whether it is good or bad? It is the goddess. So it is the desire that takes you into the world, and it is the spanda that it takes you back to the source. Now, let's do a simple test and see what happens. Close your eyes When you close your eyes, you experience that thoughts are there, emotions are there, the feeling of the body is there, the breath is coming and going, all that is happening. Are these all frequency and vibrations? Now, just watch all of it. You can watch your thought, your feeling, your emotions, might be the sensations in your body or the breath, whatever, whichever. When you are focusing on this, just by watching all this, automatically, are you becoming calm and quiet or not? When you are not in the drama, you are watching the drama, you are at calmness. When you are not just the breath, not just the thought, not just the emotions, you just sit quietly and watch them, it becomes so easy for you, so simple. And now, when you are sitting there and experiencing this, just think of this word and say it within your own self. Recite the word chum, and while watching the vibration that it creates, just recite the word within you and watch what happens. Once you have done your way, I will give you another way that can be converted into a daily sadhana kind of thing. Now let me guide you with this. So now you will chant chum with rising of your breath from the navel to the chest. अब सांस इतनी गहरी लेनी है कि जब छोड़ते हो तो धीरे से ऐसा लगे कि नाभि के पास से सांसें उठ के हृदय तक आती है. Visualize while experiencing this, it's like a lotus of anahata heart will start to bloom with red light over it. Let the breath that starts from your navel point and goes up until the anahata be the stem of the lotus. And your heart becomes that lotus. The anahata becomes the lotus. While imagining this, keep on dropping that chum deeper. And the deeper when you throw it and you slowly breathe out, just say chum and then breathe out slowly, experiencing how that point is moving from the navel towards the heart and it is opening up the heart chakra. Chum. Now stop and observe how do you feel in your body. What happens towards your head? What happens on your face? How your entire body is reacting to that. How many of you experience stillness and calmness and quietness within you? Now open your eyes. Even though you have opened your eyes, does that stillness continue? It's like a background now. So that was all about the chum that awakes you, that moves you every moment. What's the next alphabet in that? What's the next matrika? It is cha cha, and then we move to the ja, which is jam. This is nothing else but the light of gnana, the light of knowledge. So how this is going along in our lives, what it is all about. Jam is like the dawn of understanding it. In any way you are understanding anything, it's because of this matrika, jam. Because when reaction ripens into clarity, that sound becomes jam. जैसे कि जब हम च और छ के बारे में समझे, you say that okay, ch is all these emotions, cha is being into that. Now ja is realizing that, oh, so it is all happening because of me. It is that gnana, that's knowledge. And jam can be the light that is actually something like the dawn of the wisdom. It is when you start to see why you feel what you feel, when emotion evolves into an insight. Here, for Jam, the deity that is associated with it is Gnana Sakti or Brihaspati, the guru of the gods. The essence, the insight, and the wisdom that you carry. And it is also connected with Dakshinamurti. Dakshinamurti can be something called as the silent teacher, who just sits silently to teach you. And when, after every motion that has happened, every emotion that moves, once that has passed, you say, I experience after going through that. I become a experienced person. What is an experienced person? The person who has learned that, went through that, is now an experienced person. How do you become a teacher? How do you become a guru? How do you become somebody who is capable of teaching? Answer is very simple. You have gone through that and now knew it. And now you have become a teacher of that. Make sense? उसी तरीके से जो ज्ञान है, ये सारे चीजों से जाने के बाद जो रियलाइजेशन आता है, that's what is called as the knowledge. Now, Jam is actually the thing that when you sit and analyze to realize that part, like that insight that goes within you. Why did this happen? What is it teaching me? And all those kind of thoughts, when it comes, it is actually the Jam. It is the light that emerges from processing emotions through awareness. It's not just processing emotions unaware. It's like processing the emotions through awareness. But at times, this knowledge becomes a roadblock. है ना? कभी कभी ज्ञान का ईगो आ जाता है कि मैं ये जानता हूं, ये नहीं जानता, उससे ज्यादा जानता हूं. So when this comes into play, let me bring out a story for that. Because this story should also become a reminder for all of us. कि कैसे अज्ञानता से ज्ञान की तरफ जाया जा सकता है. Have you heard the story of Narad Muni? When he faced humiliation and he sought true wisdom, and when he tried finding the true wisdom, he turned inward, realizing his own pride. Are you ready for a story or two? There are two different stories of Narad, but let me narrate one today, which you have already heard, and now many of you already know this story, because how did Hanuman came into play in Ramayana? Why did the monkey helped Ram? ये तो सबको पता होगा ना. At least you know this. Why it was not any other form, but Hanuman took the form of a monkey? How many of you know that? It could have been any other animal, right? Why Hanuman chose to be the form of a monkey? Why did Shiva's Gyarva Rudravatara became that form of Hanuman? कितने लोगों को पता है? हाथ उठाओ या तो कम से कम यस लिखो. ओके, सो सुधा जी को पता है, विनय लता जी को पता है, रजनी जी को पता है. सो हु वांट्स टू नरेट द स्टोरी? Of course, I will do that. Why are you worried? Because I will tell it in a very different way, rather than the way you have heard that story, and how that story is related to us is something that we should learn. क्योंकि कहानी बता देंगे, बट आप उसके किरदार कैसे हो वो कैसे पता चले आपको? The role that you play in it. So it such happens that okay, स्टोरी है तो स्टोरी है, सब स्टार्ट करते हैं कि नारद, because when let me see which story I should tell. So दो है, बस आज एक ही बताता हूँ, because it would be too long then. So हमारे पुराण में एक कथा आती है. It is like such a beautiful way it has been told. You can teach it to your kids as well, because this is one of the most beautiful and transforming lessons that you can teach them in humility. So ऐसा होता है कि once Narada fall into illusion, and in that illusion he starts thinking like to get married to someone. Is it wrong? Is it right? No, it's not about wrong or right. It's the story that you have to go through now. So what happens is एक बार इच्छा जागृत होती है नारद के मन में. सो वंस लॉन्ग लॉन्ग अगो, जो हम कहते हैं ना कि स्टोरी स्टार्ट करने से लॉन्ग लॉन्ग अगो, देवर्षि नारद, who was the eternal devotee of Lord Vishnu, was traveling through the worlds singing the name of the Lord. Narayan, 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 Narayan. And with bliss, and suddenly he felt pride within himself also. His heart was overflowing with devotion. But somehow within, a subtle feeling had begun to bloom. And it said to himself, there is none purer than me, none wiser than me, none more devoted to Narayan than I. And when Narad was feeling all these things, why would he feel this? Can anybody answer? क्या आप में से कोई बता सकता है कि नारायण नारायण करते करते इनके मन के अंदर ये छवि कहां से आ गई? एनीवन नोज इट? नो, इट वाज छम. Did you see like how easily we keep on removing that? अभी तो पिछले 1 घंटे से वही बात कर रहा था, छम है क्या? सो नाउ नारद जैसे मुनि के अंदर भी ये शब्द आ सकता है. सो नाउ when that alphabet actually that Devi started, and then we come to know that, oh, so that was the pride that was growing within him. But as we all know, Om Namo Narayan, the Lord, the Master, who is the inner witness of every heartbeat. He decided to gently dissolve the veil of pride that Narad is growing within him, because it was required for Narad for his evolution. So, what it is done? It was notified that in a certain kingdom, the king had arranged a Swayamvara, a ceremony where his daughter, a beautiful and virtuous princess, would choose her husband for among all the kings assembled and the sages assembled in this space. Now, Narada happened to arrive there, and when he saw the princess, she was radiant like Lakshmi herself. And then a strong, strange longing started within him, a thought that he had never felt before. And then he was thinking, if only I could marry her. And what better a companion would she get for a devotee who is as pure as as pure as me? How can she get a better one than me? And so, in that rare moment of ego mixed with desire, Narada goes to Lord Vishnu and said, O Narayan, I am going to the Swayamvara. Grant me a face as handsome as yours, so that the princess may choose me. And then we all know what might have happened if you know the story. Vishnu started smiling inwardly and said, so be it, my beloved devotee, so be it. But Maya has her own play to do. With this confidence that Vishnu said, okay, so be it, Narad, confident and radiant, walks into that royal court, believing that he himself is the most divinely handsome person in that entire crowd. And then he looks at the princess with pride, and the moment the princess looks at her, she bursts out in laughter. And all the kings and all the people available in that space, they looked at Narada and they started laughing. And when they started laughing, he could not understand. First, he thought that, oh, so they might be admiring me. That's why they are so happy to see me. But when that laughter did not die, he felt that, oh, so there is something fishy in it. And he runs out of that palace and goes. And when he sits near a pond and looks at his own face, to his horror, he saw not the beauty of Vishnu's face, but the face of a monkey. Now just think of, you want something so much and you have prayed to the God and you thought that, okay, so he's going to give you, and you are so happy that you are going to get it. and suddenly you get something else. How do you feel? मतलब मैंने इतना पूजा किया, मैंने इतना पूजा पाठ किया है, मैंने इतना साधनाएं की हैं, अब भगवान मुझे अच्छा फल देगा। दिया बंदर, क्या करोगे? You will be so felt like betrayed, right? You will feel like, oh my God, what is this? होता है ना हमारे साथ कि हमने विष्णु मांगा था, उसने बंदर पकड़ा दिया। हमने जीवन में खुशी मांगी थी, उसने और कुछ पकड़ा दिया। एंड इन दैट मोमेंट हाउ डू यू से, ओ माय गॉड, आई डिड सो मच ऑफ साधना, व्हाई डिडंट वर्क आउट? लुक एट योर ईगो। Yes or no? Look at your ego. And then, just in that moment, what Narad saw was the face of that monkey. And when he saw that, he was into a rage. Because now he can hear that sound of that laughter in his head. And that laughter of the court actually continuously echoed with him, and that filled him with shame and anger. And in that moment of delusion, he cursed. And he said, "You deceived me, O Lord, you deceived me. You made me an object of ridicule." But the moment he was cursing, one thing happened within him. For a moment, he stopped and he says, "What am I doing? I am cursing the one on whose name I breathe. How can I do that?" And then Vishnu smiles and says, "Don't worry, Narad. Go ahead with your curse and curse me with your rage." And then Narad says, "My Lord, forgive me. How can I curse you?" But Vishnu says, अब किसी मुनि के मुख से अगर ये बात आया है तो सच होगा ही होगा. It has to happen. And then says, "What curse should I give then?" He says, "It's up to you." And then Narad says, "When you go and take the avatar next in the world, you will need the help of the same monkey to get your wife back." मतलब जैसे अपनी सुंदरता को वापस लाने के लिए आपको इसी बंदर की जरूरत पड़ेगी. And that's how Shiva chose to take the form of the monkey to become Hanuman, to help Ram to find Sita. But when we are hearing this, because humiliation always cools down and the light of wisdom dawns. But as you all know, Narad in that moment was trembling, was alone. Narad continuously heard his own voice in echo. And the question was what he asked to himself, and we all should. Who was humiliated? Was it the devotee of Vishnu or the ego of the devotee that got this? Who was this humiliation going through? And then, who desired? Was it the pure soul or the mind who was desiring it? And in this moment, he realized that even devotion, when it is tainted, that it is me, it is mine, it becomes a bondage. And that's the Lord's play. Not punishment, but purification. And we all know that Narayan is indeed a great teacher, might be the most playful one, because he destroyed the last trace of pride in Narad, not to humiliate him, but to free him from his own pride. And we all know that when we look or when we hear this story, we think like Narayan is somewhere else and Narad is somewhere else. And why he got the face of the monkey. So let me tell you how is it related to us. The face of the monkey represents the mind, because now this story is more than just a story of embarrassment. It is actually a cosmic initiation that happens. So when you look at the face of the monkey, it represents the mind, which is always restless, imitative, always desiring. Desiring what? Admiration. सब मुझे अच्छा अच्छा बोले, सब मुझे आके पूछे. And here the princess that Narad was looking at, the princess is Maya, the world of charm, which reflects our hidden attachments, the desires that we have. The humiliation that happened there was not cruelty. It was actually the mirror of truth that appeared in front of us, showing us our unexamined ego. And Vishnu's play is the divine compassion. For it is the only through the breaking of the pride that the soul attains pure bhakti. So, my dear divine souls, when Narada, the celestial sage himself, was made to face his own illusion, he did not fall, he rose higher. Because humiliation, when embraced with awareness, becomes illumination. So that could be a transformation from humiliation to illumination of the self. And when life humbles you, don't resist it, just go to it. The Lord may not be punishing you, He may be polishing you, until the mirror of your heart shines again with His reflection. And who would even act like a villain in your life to make you the hero? And that's what we feel like when our ego appears, when our ego awakens. Let this story be a reminder to us. And in that moment, when you stop for a moment and look at your ego, you realize. And that's where the jam sound comes into play, the true knowledge, the Jnana Shakti. And you always remember this, because this Shabda Jam is like it will break you, it will shatter you. But instead of pain, you feel gratitude that the Jam that was within me has now flowered, has now bloomed. Because a failure that humbles your pride, it is actually a grace in disguise. Every moment when you forgive, after a long confusion, when you forgive, that is also the moment of that jump. Because when your mind bows down to your own self within you, when the ego bows down to you within you, that very moment the teacher appears within you. And the student and the teacher both reside absolutely within you. So whatever happens in life, always look that it is not suffering, is not punishment, but a transformation. It translates a blind emotion into a very luminous understanding, might be. Every wound is a classroom if you learn this. The day you stop cursing it, the lesson will begin. When you stop blaming and start learning, Jam is at work. When a mistake becomes a lesson, Jam transforms karma into sadhana, into wisdom, into knowledge. When you understand someone's pain without them saying a word, Jam has ripened within you. Every time you say, ah, now I understand, that's Jam vibrating within you. So let me give you some deeper thoughts on that. Please close your eyes. Wisdom is not born from knowledge. It's born when emotion purifies itself into understanding. The mind that was once cloudy becomes a sunrise. That is Jam. Every enlightenment is a matured emotion. That's why Gnana and Jam share the same root. Both are knowing that emerges from feeling deeply enough to see clearly. So, with your eyes keeping closed, just chant along with me. Om Jam Gnanadayai Namah. Om Jam Jnanadhyayai Namah. Om Jam Jnanadhyayai Namah. So salutation to the one who bestows illumination and insight. So the ignition of understanding that should awake within you, where awareness and feeling merge into clarity. Now I know why this happened. Once you reach to that space, it would be as if you have reached to the space of Jam. Now, I would give a simple sadhana that you can do with the alphabet Jam. You can simply look at a lamp burning in front of you. कोई भी दिया या लैंप लगा सकते हो and you just look at that. And when you are looking at that, look at it with very gentleness, कोई harshness की जरूरत नहीं है. And feel its light dissolve all the confusions in your Agna Chakra. Once you did this, you just look at it and feel that light within you, and especially at the Agna Chakra. While your eyes being closed, let's visualize the same thing. So take your time to be there in that space while focusing, even though you don't have a light in front of you. Still focus. Relax completely. Simple, relax. Now slowly open your eyes. And now we move on to the next alphabet, Jham. And this will have another practical experience with this. So when you say the word cha, cha, ja, jha, it's like not only realization, it's a thundering realization. And it becomes Jham. It's like a shock wave. It's like an awakening in completeness in that space. When realization no longer fits into the words. When you laugh or cry in silence because you have seen something beyond comprehension. It is actually the aha moment that dissolves the ego, the electric shock of self recognition. Every breakdown in your life, every emotional explosion was not destruction. It was Jham, breaking your limited understanding. You call it crisis, the scriptures call it revelation. And in that crack, where your logic burns and your heart trembles, Shakti dances as truth there. The Jham, the thunderbolt of consciousness, shattering its own dream. And in this space, once that thunderbolt of consciousness is charged and put on you, all the delusions break. When it such happened that the job you lose that forces you toward your true calling is Jham. मतलब आपको कुछ करना है और आपकी जो नौकरी है करने नहीं दे रहा, and you start rebelling against it. That's Jham. The betrayal that destroys trust but reveals your inner strength. It is Jham. The night you cry without any reason and wake up feeling strangely reborn. It is Jham, cleansing old identities. And when I look at that, I would like to ask you a question like, tapas, जो होती है tapasya, right? You say when you do intense tapas or intense tapasya, then you get the benefits of it, right? Then some of you say that I don't have a control on our tears because the moment I listen to something, I sit for meditation or I'm doing something, my eyes start filling out. They well up and they just tear drops start rolling down. Why is it so? So let me tell you that we have heard that fire purifies everything. Huh? So that is what tapas is all about. But let me tell you, at times it is also water that cleanses. So it is not only the intense tapas that you do that cleanses you, but even when that tears roll down, what is it? It is the water in play. तो जब भी आंखों से आंसू निकल जाते हैं ना, तो वो क्या होता है? वो भी एक प्रक्रिया है, वो भी एक प्यूरिफिकेशन है. सो व्हाट आर यू गोइंग टू डू? यू विल सिट एंड क्राई? The people will say, "Oh, that's so amazing." I read a story in my childhood that was part of the curriculum, I believe. The crying saint. And he lived alone and near a village, and every moment, whoever goes to him, they will only see is crying and crying and crying and crying and crying. 1 साल, 2 साल, 5 साल, 15 साल, 20 साल, 25 साल, 50 साल, जब तक था रोता ही रहा, रोता ही रहा, रोता ही रहा. And then one fine day, everybody knew that he's the crying sage, so nobody disturbed him anymore. बोला ये रोता ही रहेगा तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, ये ऐसा ही है. Then finally one fine day in the morning he comes out and starts laughing. आप मुझे अब बताओ, अगर वो उस दिन सुबह आके रोता तो लोग परेशान होते, या आज आके हंस रहा है इसलिए परेशान होंगे? Can you see, people always want you to do whatever you do in the same way always. So people were thinking he should come out today and cry, but today he was laughing. And when he was laughing, people gathered. He says, "What happened? Have you gone crazy?" इतने दिन तक उसको समझा रहे थे कि क्यों रो रहा है, आज समझा रहे हैं कि क्यों हंस रहा है. होता है ना हमारे साथ भी, है ना? तुम ज्यादा हंसोगे तो क्यों हंस रहे हो, रोओगे तो क्यों नहीं हंस रहे हो? How many of you have gone through this? So exactly that was what the sage was doing that morning. He came out and laughed and laughed and laughed. Then the people come, ये पक्का रो रो के पागल हो गया है, इसलिए आज हंस रहा है. पहले कहते थे इतना रोता है, पागल है क्या? आज हंस रहा है इसीलिए कहते पागल हो गया है. तो लोग पागल कैसे भी कहेंगे आपको. So when he started laughing, people gathered and asked, "Why are you laughing?" He said, "इतने दिनों तक तुमको देख देख के रो रहा था, आज ये जगह छोड़ रहा हूं इसलिए हंसी छूट गई. All these years I have been only looking at you people and crying and crying and crying. Today I am leaving this place, so I am happy. I am laughing." What do you think people would have felt? Humiliated. But if they would have realized what he was saying, he was actually saying that I was so lost in the world, and by looking at the world, why this is not right, what that is not happening, I was all sad. But now I have realized that I am just the watcher, what's happening. And now I have awakened, and now I know that the world is not a place to cry. The world is just a plate of choices. And whatever I choose, it's mine. So from this day on, he stopped crying for the world. He said, if I have to live in this world, I choose to laugh. Because लोग कैसे भी कहेंगे, आप कुछ भी कर लो कहेंगे. यस और नो? ऐसा कभी हुआ है आपने बहुत अच्छा काम किया और आपको बार बार बोला गया कि बहुत अच्छा किया, बहुत अच्छा किया, बहुत अच्छा किया, बहुत अच्छा किया, लेकिन अगर एक बार गलती कर दिए तो you can keep a count of that. Might be throughout life, might be throughout the day, है ना? So when you go through all these things, you just look at that. Might be the Devi is at work today. He's saying that, okay, so can you see whether you do right or wrong? People will always say. अब ये ज्ञान आ जाना चाहिए तेरे अंदर, that it is, if I keep on depending on what happens outside, I will always be a slave to it. But now I choose to smile. And you remember I said long time ago, you need a reason to be sad, but you can be happy without any reason. बिना कारण के दुखी हो सकते हो? नहीं हो सकते, क्योंकि जैसे ही दुखी होगे आप पूछोगे अपने आप कि इसका कारण क्या है। और सुखी होने का कारण इसलिए नहीं है क्योंकि जब दुखी होने का कारण ढूंढना बंद कर दोगे तो आप सुखी हो। Stop finding the reasons to be sad. You are already happy. But as we are searching the reason to be happy, we are sad. I somehow see the BODMAS method in that. मैथ्स में करते हो ना, प्लस प्लस माइनस 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 प्लस. So when you are trying to find happiness, you are sad. Why? Because you are trying to find a reason to be happy, but there are no reason to be happy. Happiness is, you need a reason to be sad. दुख, बिना कारण के दुखी कौन है बताओ? No one of us. So there should be a reason to be sad. There is no reason to be happy. So are you a reasonable person who finds reasons to be sad? पूछना एक बार, how reasonable you are, that you find reason in everything, and wherever you find a reason you will be unhappy. What is the reason you are smiling now? Because now you are knowing how reasonable you have been. Filled with reasons. ऐसा हुआ वैसा हुआ, क्यों हुआ? इसके वजह से, उसके वजह से, ऐसे वैसे. Absolutely fine. But this day on you choose, whatever happened, whatever is happening, I am going to choose just to watch it. I give away all the reasons. कैसे? ये रख. Keep this. Now when this understanding is dawning within you, कि अगर जब आपको ऐसे आता है ना, आप जानते हो जब ये झम का जो शब्द आएगा उसके अंदर आएगा. झम was that subtle word that I used. How reasonable are you? ये subtly आया, but at times it also comes as a very loud noise. मतलब जगा देगा आपको. क्यों जानते हो? झम जो शब्द है वो भैरव के साथ जुड़ा हुआ है. It is the laughter of Bhairava. And it will shake you up within yourself. और अभी प्रैक्टिकली देख लेंगे कैसे जगा देता है वो. It's like it will throw like a thunderbolt on you. जगा के रख देगा, जैसे नारद को जगा के रख दिया ना, वैसे आपको जगा के रख देता है. So Jham is like the Bhairava's laughter inside your crisis. And the shock that actually shows you the freedom you were afraid to claim. जब आपके मन में ये इच्छा जागृत होती है कि ये संसार नहीं, अब शिव चाहिए. That is awakening. Because एक बार अगर झम आ जाता है ना, the mind cannot go back to sleep because the illusion will be burnt. Close your eyes. ओम झम झरणेश्वराय नमः. May this sound destroy all your ignorance and liberate your soul. Because the word Jham is associated with the Vajra Bhairava. or the Rudra as well. The fierce yet liberating energy that shatters all your illusions. Vajra Bhairava is actually the fierce aspect of Shiva, what breaks down all the illusions. It can also be associated with Kala Bhairava. But when understanding of truth crystallizes within you, everything that is false will shatter. And we all know, like when Shiva consumed the poison, halahala, during the ocean churning, he did not analyze, he transcended it. And that transcendence amidst destruction is Jham. You can open your eyes and let me tell you. जब आपने देखा कि शिव ने हलाहल पिया, but he was not consumed by the poison, he consumed it and holded it at its throat. उसी तरीके से आपको एक बहुत बड़ा नॉलेज उसके साथ दिया जाता है कि जीवन में आपको विष पीना ही पड़ेगा, चाहे आप शिव ही क्यों ना हो. लेकिन अगर जहर पीना पड़ता है, इफ यू हैव टू ड्रिंक द पॉइजन, डोंट टेक इट विद इन, होल्ड इट at your throat and transcend beyond those poisons, because don't allow that poison to consume you. And that's where अगर शिव को भी जहर पीना पड़ा तो आपको, but at the same time you learn from him how to be so still that it does not bother him anymore. तो संसार रूपी जहर को निगल लो और उसे कंठ में धारण कर लो, and let it be there, not to spit it out, but to hold it there as a reminder that this world will be like this. How many times you might have drunk that poison? Uncountable. Do you want to drink it further? Or it is enough? The day you say it is enough, it is jham. He says enough is enough. और नहीं चाहिए, बहुत हो गया, बहुत देख लिए, बहुत रो लिए, बहुत खा लिए, बहुत सुन लिए. एवरीथिंग वॉट एवर, दुनिया ना जितने तरीके से तड़पा सकती थी आपको तड़पा चुकी है. एनी वे इट कुड हैव टॉर्चर्ड यू, इट हैज ऑलरेडी टॉर्चर्ड यू. एनी वन ऑफ यू वांट टू बी टॉर्चर्ड इन एनी अदर वेज दैट यू आर नॉट? आपको लगता है कि नहीं, अच्छा ये वाला बच गया, गरुड़ पुराण में वाला लिखा था, ये वाला नहीं हुआ मेरे साथ, अब ये भी हो जाए तो. और ऑल ऑफ यू हैव बीन टॉर्चर्ड इनफ दैट यू से नाउ इनफ इज इनफ, अब नहीं आना वापस. जिस दिन आपने ये कहा कि इनफ इज इनफ, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू कम बैक, वो शब्द है झम. बिकॉज तब भैरव हंसता है और मुक्त कर देता है समय से परे आपको. डू यू वांट टू एक्सपीरियंस इट नाउ, व्हाट इट डज टू यू? पक्का? we'll do this and we will stop this here today. Close your eyes for a moment. और आपने किसी ना किसी तरीके से भैरव की छवि देखी है. आपने वज्र भैरव की छवि नहीं देखी होगी, बट यू थिंक ऑफ एटलीस्ट काल भैरव और बटुक भैरव. So whichever image you can actually imagine in you. And while looking at the image, also imagine it is laughing at you now. And is laughing louder and louder. वो आपको देख के हंस रहा है. Why is it laughing at you? Ask yourself. Take your time. Just look at him. He's laughing at you, looking at you. And now you look within yourself why he's laughing at you. Your answers will vary. Because for some it will laugh at you because you cry. And for some it will laugh because you are fearful. At some it will laugh because you are worried. At times it will laugh at you because you feel yourself to be so small. At times it will laugh at you because you look weak. At times it will laugh at you because you have a big ego. At times for some people it will laugh and says, "Abhi bhi nahi samjha." And at times it will just laugh at you saying that, "How did you become this?" Forgetting who you are. Look at its laugh. Open your eyes. Now do one practical thing that I'm going to say. You will take both your hands and clap it loudly. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Sound आना चाहिए. You will say like you will say jham and you clap and you then just close your eyes and see what's happening within you. You will simply say the word jham and clap and allow that sound to create the magic within you. Try it now. Once is enough. What's happening in your spine? What's happening in your heart? What's happening? What's traveling up now? What is that upward movement that you experience? The more and more you focus now, you will see like it would be pretty easy for you to transcend so easily. What you thought was so difficult. Check your thoughts. Check your mind. Check your emotions. Check your feelings. And then again come back. How it is vibrating within you. Absolutely, Rajan ji. It will reverberate. वो एक बार नहीं होगा, वो वेव की तरह आएगा. Open your eyes. Despite you open your eyes, you will still feel that vibration in you. और सुनील जी ने अपने ही हाथ को इतने जोर से मार दिया कि अपना ही हाथ दर्द करने लगा. Now when I'm silent now and you are not speaking, I am not speaking. Even with your open eyes. Are you experiencing that stillness within you? It is said that with movement of your eyes, you create thoughts. Now, even if you move your eyes, you will not be that. And if I ask you, you can just sit here with closed eyes. I don't know for how much time. What's the reason for you being this now? Is it a tough practice? So how easily you can actually reach this state? One clap and jump. Just close your eyes and sit for a moment. And slowly experience the stillness. Relax your body completely. The belly, the shoulders, all the body parts. Just relax and slowly allow your body to sink in. धीरे से बिल्कुल ढीला छोड़ दो. If you go down also, that's not a problem at all. Let go of that stress. Now you can imagine yourself sleeping like a baby. एक छोटा बच्चा कैसे अपने हाथ को पैर को मोड़ के injects becomes a small little baby sleeping. Sleep to awake. Sleep knowing that there is somebody who is sitting behind you taking care of you. Sleep without fear. Experience that serenity in your sleep. The happiness, the desireless state. As if this body is melting away. Simply melting away. Sleep, oh child, sleep. Sleep, slipping away from this world. See how the divine arranges everything all around you to sleep so well. Sleep as if everything is taken care of. Sleep in the lap of the divine. And now we will awake feeling absolutely new, as if a freshly washed cloth. Come back to your awareness and slowly open your eyes. Where are you? I'm going to record a sleep meditation as well for the people, those who are not able to sleep in the night, might be. Can you see there is a state which is absolutely balanced now? You're fully awake, and at the same time, there is a subtle sleep of a river of sleep flowing within you. Check if your Ida Nadi has been activated, the left side. Because if you are able to sleep without any hesitation, without any, you will realize that it's the Ida Nadi. So have a good Sunday. Of course, good night for the people out there also. Good Saturday night and a You can truly tell them like you can go to sleep like a pro and wake up like a kid. So what did you learn today? Cha, ja, ja. So the next time we'll start with nya and the chakra meditation with cha, cha, ja, jhana. So that's what we will start the next week. You're patient enough, right, to learn all the alphabets. Very, very patient students. तो कहते थे जल्दी खत्म करो. But every time there will be a realization. Because all these years that you have been blaming yourself for being this and that is actually not your doing. If you realize that, don't you think the moment you slowly realize my emotions, my thoughts, my actions are not done by me, आप अकर्ता बन जाओगे, the non-doer. And once you reach to the entire realization that you are not doing anything at all, would you be bound by karmas? Then who can stop your mukti then? The classes of nirvana. Still meet you again with our Q&A. And till then, keep on going to the Anad because all the new things are being added to. I'm working on few more things that will come up now. Even working on daily sadhanas for day wise. मंडे ये है, ट्यूसडे जैसे हम भगवान की अलग अलग साधनाएं करते हैं. सो कमिंग अप विथ ए स्मॉल लिटिल प्रोसेस फॉर एवरी डे सो दैट पीपल से ओके मंगलवार हनुमान जी का, बुधवार गणेश का, गुरुवार दत्तात्रेय. So that's how we are going to take it along that. So 7 days you have 7 sadhanas. iOS is already in testing. Some bugs are there that will be fixed because we have got the clearance from Apple as well. So that was the biggest task. So finally we got that. But now the few bugs are that are being fixed. Once that is done, it will be up and running in the iOS platform as well. Lot many things. जब समय मिला थोड़ा कुछ कर लेता हूँ. Might be adding a little by bit to that. But I know like bit by bit it will become an ocean. ठीक है. So thank you everyone. मिलते हैं कुछ लोगों से आज. कुछ लोग तैयार होके बैठे हैं पूरा, देखो हैदराबाद पहुंच गए. पिछले 2 दिन से हैदराबाद में ही घूम रहे हैं. चलो, so till we meet again, aham brahmasmi tattvam matrikas.